Here we are with ticker symbol RIOT, Riot Blockchain Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So I want to go ahead and say thank you to all the investors and viewers that took the time to let us know, and specifically me, and correct me on this, on what Riot Blockchain Inc. really does and what Riot stock does and what this whole entire organization is about. I know it's in the financial sector, but what they do is they mine for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So I want to say thank you guys for actually clarifying that for me, and also to other viewers and investors to be aware of what this does. And since it mines for Bitcoin, I'm assuming that it has some indirect or direct correlation to how cryptocurrencies are doing. Specifically, I would say the Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin is the one that really is all the different cryptocurrencies turn to, and what is going on overall. What happens to Bitcoin indirectly or directly affects other cryptocurrencies as well. But you could see how volatile this is, because this ran up pretty much about $2, and it hit a peak here of about $6.89, and then it quickly fell. Now, when you zoom out and look at it in a broader spectrum, and you look at it throughout the whole year, I mean, this came from almost 50 cents all the way up to this point. So it's been in an upward direction. Obviously, the ups and downs are there, then the bearish trajectory, and then the recovery, consolidation, and now it actually ran up. So this is a very important thing to keep in mind, that this is actually heading in an upward direction. Obviously, volatility will be there, and since this has something to do with Bitcoin, I'm assuming that it's supposed to have this type of volatility due to the fact that in cryptocurrencies it's very volatile. So let's go ahead and see here where we're at. So this hit a high here of about 690. I want every single investor to keep that in mind. It wasn't able to keep itself above the resistance. It broke through it. It broke through support, and it's hanging out slightly above the 50-day moving average. And when I mean slightly, it's hanging out above it by 1 cent. 50-day moving average is 538. I want every single investor to keep that in mind. 538 is the 50-day moving average. As long as we're above it, the bulls are in control, and the moment we're below it, the bears are in control. So we're going to look at this very narrow, and then I'm going to talk about it a little bit broader. So let's go ahead and move our resistance and support to their new locations and see here what it's showing us. And based off of what we see here, it's going to be important to keep these numbers in mind. And if this breaks through support, this could be on its way to newer lows. So this is very narrow. This is almost like super narrow. I think this is the most narrow I've seen a chart, but I really want to get it down to the T. And if it breaks through this support, the next lowest point would be down here at around 406. But before getting there, we're just going to look at what's showing us right now in the chart. Now, after this resistance is broken through, the next resistance would be this high here where it tried leveling off and going back up before it fell to newer lows, and that's 624. I want every single investor to keep that in mind. 624 is super important to keep in mind after it breaks through this resistance. So let's look here what's important for tomorrow. So for the bulls to maintain this leverage, they need to go ahead and break through this resistance and pull away from it all the way up to this point up at 624. But this is the beginning catalyst to let us know where this is heading. So this resistance level is 550. Every single investor, I highly encourage you guys to pay close attention to this and be aware that the bulls need to break through this. I want to emphasize that the bulls need to break through this resistance to maintain that 1 cent of leverage above the 50-day moving average and stay in bullish territory. So they need to pull away from it before this ends up in bearish territory. The tug of war will be interesting tomorrow and the coming days, but 550 needs to be broken through and turn into a support by the bulls so they can break away from it, reach newer highs and new resistance levels, right? So that's very important for the bulls. Now, on the other hand, if the bears tear this down through support, and break away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction, it does not signify that the bears have gained control. They do have some leverage. They're in bearish territory. They've broken through support and so forth, but it does not signify that they have control. So if the bears break through support, which is 506, pay very close attention to the behavior of this stock. How quickly is it moving to newer lows, or are the bulls trying to reappear and bring this back up? The volatility is there, and we're going to have to watch this closely, but I really want to emphasize that the bulls need to break through 550 to get back into bullish territory and confirm it and start to pull away from the 50-day moving average. And if this support of 506 gets broken through, the bears could be on their way to hit newer lows, get deeper into bearish territory, and pull away from the 50-day moving average. So keep that in mind. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative and you feel encouraged or inclined to subscribe, you're more than welcome to. Please do so. But don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community. And don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money. At the end of this video, there's going to be a pop-up video. In that video, I will be discussing about the S&P 500 index and how it's been rising several points on scheduled dates. And on these scheduled dates, the S&P 500 index is rising due to the fact that the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets. What does that mean for us as investors? Well, if the S&P 500 index is rising, there's individual ticker symbols rising up with it. They're rising up anywhere from 30 cents to $3 per share, sometimes even more. Obviously, you have to do your due diligence and research, but I know that per share may not sound like a lot, but that does add up per share. I mean, keep in mind, 30 cents to $3 per share does add up. I know that I always say profits are profits, and if you put $1 into the market and you got back $2, you've done a great job. And that's what this is all about here, so that we can all learn and grow together, and also so that I can inform every single investor and viewer on the great news that there is an opportunity to maximize profits. Now, I'm not guaranteeing you profits in the video. I'm not telling you to buy, sell, or hold anything in particular. I'm just analyzing the S&P 500 index and putting the dates and the charts side by side so you can see for yourself that they speak for themselves. Literally, it's showing it in the charts, and on the specific dates you could see it. And if it's rising up, there's individual ticker symbols within it rising up. So you have to do your due diligence, as I stated, and research. But it is an opportunity, whether the market's going up or the market's going down, to maximize profits and minimize losses. Now, again, I'm not there to guarantee you profits. I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold anything in particular. I'm just here to enlighten every single viewer and investor on the great news that there is an opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses. Check out the video. I wouldn't want you guys to overlook it. I just did the most updated one for this week, and you'll see in the chart what I explain, and then look at the S&P 500 index today, how it reacted, and you will see everything that I talked about is in that video. It's very informative and helpful. I wouldn't want you guys to miss it. It's super good information for every single investor to be better equipped weekly. It's a weekly series that I do, so stay tuned for more as long as the Federal Reserve continues to pump the markets. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.